On my 25th birthday, I sat in a chic downtown New York restaurant. My sparkling black dress and the untouched champagne glass on the table had been waiting for 4 hours. But Liam, my boyfriend, was a no-show. As I scrolled through Instagram, a picture stopped me cold. Liam was on Chloe's familiar sofa, his close friend, with the caption, "He's my safe harbor." Before, I would have lost it, called him immediately to demand an explanation. But tonight, a strange calm settled over me. This was the 101st time he'd broken a promise. I was too used to it, too numb. Calmly, I drafted a breakup text and sent it. Liam's frantic calls followed instantly. Liam had booked this restaurant a month ago. Last month, for Chloe's birthday, he'd taken her to the beach to watch the sunrise. I'd angrily confronted him, and he'd accused me of being paranoid, claiming it was a group trip, not just the two of them. We'd had a silent war for half a month. Yesterday, Liam sent a screenshot of the restaurant reservation. I knew this was his olive branch, his way of signaling me to back down. Every time we fought or went cold, I was always the one to break the ice, to speak first. Afterward, he'd give me a gift or pay a little more attention, showering me with affection. I'd be over the moon, forgetting all the previous pain and rekindling my enthusiasm for him. For years, it had been this pattern. He'd slap me, then offer a sweet apple. I'd stop counting the pros and cons. Our relationship's temperature was entirely dependent on him, completely within his control. He'd manipulate my emotions based on his mood. It was my fault. I only thought of the sweet parts and forgot the pain. I loved him so meekly. But yesterday, seeing the restaurant reservation screenshot he sent, I didn't feel the usual joy. Before, just him remembering my birthday would have been enough to thrill me. After all, every year prior, I'd had to remind him daily for him to remember to buy a gift. This year, I'd completely forgotten, so I was surprised he'd remembered on his own. Yesterday, after work, when I got his text, I was startled to realize my birthday had actually arrived. I texted back, "Okay. See you tomorrow night at the restaurant." I turned off my phone and continued working, no longer secretly basking in his kindness as I once would have. That evening, after work, I got Liam's text about meeting at the restaurant. I arrived early. I was there by 6:30 p.m., waiting until 8 p.m., but Liam still hadn't shown up. I called him, no answer. Texted, no reply. At 9:30 p.m., the waiter asked if I wanted to order, mentioning the restaurant closed at 10:30 p.m. I nodded. Slowly, I finished my steak and sipped some red wine. At 10:30 p.m., I walked out of the restaurant and stood by the curb, waiting for a ride. I scrolled through Chloe's Instagram, "Here's my safe harbor." The attached picture was a blurry shot of Liam sitting on a sofa. In that moment, seeing the photo, I felt no anger, no self-pity, no pain. My heart was calm, almost victorious, as if I'd predicted the outcome. See? I knew it. Every time he bailed, it was for Chloe. The strange thing was, it didn't hurt this time. After getting home, I showered and went to bed. In the middle of a deep sleep, I heard the door open. I knew Liam was back. I was annoyed to be woken by the noise. I closed my eyes, pretending to sleep, not wanting to deal with him. Footsteps stopped by the bed, lingering for a long time without movement. Even with my eyes closed, I could feel his intense gaze on me. Is Liam crazy? His back. Why isn't he quickly showering and going to bed? Why is he staring at me, disrupting my sleep? How annoying. Maybe he was bothered that I wasn't like before, with all the lights on, angrily waiting for him in the living room, ready to question and fight. In the past, whenever I'd raged, even thrown a fit, he'd just stare coldly, his eyes filled with disgust and impatience. His gaze was condescending, like he was looking at a clown throwing a baseless tantrum. In the past, during arguments about Chloe, he'd explain a few things, saying they were just friends, never crossing the line, and that I was overthinking. Later, he wouldn't even bother explaining, letting my emotions explode like a volcano and then slowly die out on their own. Now, I've gained perspective and let go. Looking back, I truly was crazy. My face must have looked awful every time my emotions collapsed. No wonder Liam hated it. At this moment, I had no desire to question him, I just wanted to sleep. Liam stared for a while, seeing no movement from me. He finally spoke, "Meh." I continued to play dead, sound asleep. A moment later, he finally moved away. I heard the sound of water in the bathroom. He was showering. The gentle sound of the running water was hypnotic, and I listened for a while before drifting off, not even knowing when Liam got into bed. The next morning, I woke up and went to work. I buried myself in my tasks all day, and time flew by. After work, I ate out before heading home. As I walked in, Liam was on the sofa. "Home early today?" I asked, changing my shoes. "No overtime," he said. I nodded, hung up my bag, and prepared to go to my study. "MIA. Liam called me back. I bought your birthday gift ahead of time, yesterday." "Thanks." I took the small, exquisite box from his hand and opened it. A beautiful bracelet. "It's really pretty, I love it," I smiled at him. "I'll wear it tomorrow." As I turned to leave, Liam grabbed my hand. "I'm sorry about yesterday, I stood you up." He explained, "I was almost at the restaurant when Chloe called. She said her ex-boyfriend was stalking her again and she was really scared. She's a girl, alone, it wasn't safe." "I believe you," I cut him off. "It's true, she shouldn't face danger alone. Her ex has an extreme personality. You already told me. Anyway, I'm busy, I need to get back to work." "MEA." He still didn't let go. I looked at him, confused. "You haven't eaten yet." "Oh, I have. You should order some takeout then." With that, I pulled my hand away and walked straight into my study. As soon as I sat down, I heard the front door slam shut. I looked out. Liam was no longer home. He gave me a gift, offered me an olive branch, but I didn't take it. He was angry. Liam and I were back to our Cold War. Before, during our silent treatments, my mood would always plummet, and I'd rack my brain for ways to quickly reconcile with him. But now, after a few days of Cold War, I felt light. At night, Liam slept in the guest room. I enjoyed having the bed to myself and slept better than usual. In the mornings, I didn't have to wake up early to cook breakfast for Liam. I could sleep an extra half hour. At work, my mind no longer instantly drifted to Liam, and I wasn't constantly texting him. My work efficiency improved significantly. Tasks that used to stretch until quitting time could now be finished early. After work, I was too lazy to cook at home. I'd become a very good cook because I wanted Liam to eat healthy. I used to go home right after work to prepare dinner, but he partied a lot and would only come home for dinner twice a week, if I was lucky. No longer revolving around Liam, I found I had a lot of free time. I finished a TV series in just 3 evenings. At the office, I overheard a new colleague talking about studying for a work-related certification. I felt ashamed. This young woman, fresh out of college, was already making the most of her time to improve herself. I'd been working for years and was still adrift, aimless, drifting through each day. I could only blame myself for blindly focusing on love in the past. Since graduating, my life's dream was to marry Liam. To this day, that wish hasn't come true. For the old me, the most important thing in life was revolving around Liam. I even thought that if, after marriage, Liam wanted me to quit and be a stay-at-home wife, I'd agree without hesitation. Marrying Liam, having children, and taking care of our little family, that was my dream life, my happiness. Now, fully awakened, I realized how much of a failure I'd been. In love, I always gave without receiving, and he didn't even offer a promise of marriage. My career was a mess, with no progress. The new colleague's fighting spirit transferred to me. I knew it was time to make an effort to change. I humbly asked colleagues for advice, bought study materials, and began preparing for the certification exam. Every day after work, I'd grab a quick bite outside. After getting home, I'd go into my study and hit the books until bedtime. These past few days, Liam must still have been angry because he came home very late every night. That was even better. The quiet house was perfect for studying. During my lunch break, I scrolled through my phone and noticed Liam rarely updated his Instagram. Just one photo, no caption. It was a dining table with a few dishes. 2 sets of chopsticks and bowls. In the corner, a hand wearing the watch I bought him. I knew Liam too well. He deliberately posted that picture of him and Chloe eating together to provoke me. But I no longer felt angry or jealous, nor did I immediately call him in a fit of rage. I just glanced at it and kept scrolling through other people's posts. In the afternoon, Liam called. "I'll pick you up after work." His voice gave no hint of emotion. My first reaction was resistance. "No need, I'm working late tonight," I lied subconsciously. "Until when?" he pressed. "Around 8 p.m., I gritted my teeth. "Okay, I'll wait for you downstairs at 8 p.m. he said and hung up. To cover my lie, I didn't go home after work. I stayed late, pulled out my study materials, and started reviewing. At 8 p.m., I packed up my bag and went downstairs. As I exited the building, I saw his familiar car parked not far away. I walked over and opened the door. Chloe, from the passenger seat, smiled brightly at me. "MIA. I just had dinner with Liam. He's giving me a ride home." "Aha," I nodded, opened the back door, and got in. Whenever Chloe was in the car, I never sat in the front passenger seat. I'd argued with Liam about this countless times, but he always sided with Chloe. He'd say Chloe got car sick and just needed to sit in front. Why do I have to be so petty and nitpicky? I'd say the front passenger seat was reserved for the girlfriend. He'd scoff at me for being dramatic. On this issue, I never won against Chloe. Each time it happened, I'd feel annoyed and upset. But now, I had no time to fuss over it. After working all day and then studying for 2 hours, I was drowsy the moment I sat in the car. "Liam, the crawfish tonight was so good. Let's go there again next time, okay?" Chloe said cheerfully. Liam replied, "Okay, if you like it, we'll go again. But peeling crawfish is a lot of work, you don't mind, do you?" Chloe's voice was playful. "No way, I'm used to it. May, Liam's great at peeling shrimp because I trained him in college." Chloe suddenly turned to look at me. "So, shouldn't you thank me?" "Thank you. For what?" "Thank her for training Liam to peel shrimp." But he'd never peeled shrimp for me. I remember watching a show once where a celebrity said she loved crawfish but wouldn't eat it if no one peeled it for her because she didn't want to do it herself. After I started dating Liam, the first time we ate crawfish, I also flirted and asked him to peel them for me. He stopped, looked at me, and sneered, "Don't you have hands?" The one who loved more was always humble. I immediately shut up. After that, I never mentioned peeling shrimp in front of him again. I looked up at Chloe. The car was dim, but I could still see the smugness and provocation in her eyes. She was always like that, subtly prodding me to anger, then waiting for Liam to scold me and protect her, tirelessly, repeatedly. But at this moment, I wasn't provoked by her, nor did I have any interest in confronting her. "Oh, well, thank you," I said dismissively. Failing to achieve her goal, Chloe bit her lip, turned away, and chuckled with Liam. Liam's voice was always gentle when he spoke to her. Listening to their lively conversation, my eyelids grew heavier, and the sounds around me gradually faded. When I woke up, the car had stopped downstairs. Liam sat silently in the driver's seat. Chloe was no longer in the passenger seat. Did she go home? Why didn't you call me? I sat up straight and opened the car door. Liam followed me, silent. Out of the elevator and into the apartment, he finally spoke, tired. "Hey, you and Chloe were talking, and I fell asleep in the car." "Yeah, a little tired." I wasn't in the mood to talk to him, I just wanted to shower and go to bed quickly. Tonight, Mike and some guys from the dorm invited him, and they called Chloe. You know they're close to her. They always like to invite her when they go out to eat. Since it was on the way, I gave her a ride home. He suddenly started explaining to me. How strange, before, when I asked why he always hung out with Chloe, he wouldn't bother explaining. Now, I hadn't asked, and he was proactively telling me. "Aha," I nodded, and went into the bathroom. "I was going to pick you up, but you said you were working late. So after I ate, I came to pick you up." He explained again. "Okay, I get it. I'm going to shower first." With that, I quickly moved. After showering, I went to bed. The next evening after work, I saw Liam downstairs again. This time, Chloe wasn't in the car. I still sat in the back seat. Liam turned to look at me, wanting to say something but stopping. Sitting in the back, I suddenly felt like he was my chauffeur, which was quite refreshing. Maybe I shouldn't have been so bothered about it before. Tonight, Mike invited us over for hot pot, Liam said as he started the car. Mike was also his college roommate. Coincidentally, all 4 of Liam's college roommates stayed in the city after graduating. They had a good relationship, often gathering to hang out and eat. When Liam was pursuing Chloe in college, his roommates were his strategists and advisors. Although he didn't succeed, it didn't affect Chloe's friendly relationship with them. Over the years, Chloe had several boyfriends, but she always said, boyfriends are boyfriends, friends are friends. She said Liam would always be her best friend. A while ago, Chloe broke up with her boyfriend and started hanging out with them frequently again. Every time I saw Liam taking care of her, my blood 3. Pressure would skyrocket. I'd argued and caused scenes, but it never led anywhere. Later, I just stopped attending their gatherings. Out of sight, out of mind. You guys go ahead and hang out, just drop me home first, I said. I had no interest in their party. Liam said, we'll go home right after dinner, no late nights. Mike specifically asked me to bring you, said he hadn't seen you in a long time. Fine, I conceded. We stood in front of Mike's new apartment. Mike opened the door, and a figure darted out of the house, jumping onto Liam's back like a monkey, wrapping her arms tightly around his neck. The move was so fast that Liam almost lost his balance, but he instinctively reached back to steady her. Ha, Liam, you're late. Your punishment is to carry me and do 10 push-ups. Chloe, on his back, yelled gleefully. Liam, having regained his balance, suddenly stiffened and looked up at me. Seeing the panic in his eyes, I smiled back at him. He froze, then released his hands. Chloe on his back was surprised and fell to the ground. She playfully hit Liam, scolding him. What are you doing? You almost made me fall. When she looked up, feigning surprise at seeing me, she exclaimed, Oh, Mia's here too. Liam and I were just joking around. That's how we used to punish each other when we lost games. Meh, you don't mind, do you? It's fine. You guys play however you want. Don't worry about me. I'll just watch TV over here. With that, I picked up the remote and seriously started flipping channels. Oh, MIA, you know what? Liam is really good. He can do over a dozen push-ups with me on his back. Really? I've never seen that. Why don't you two do it now? I'd love to see it. I put down the remote, curious. I'll go help Mike in the kitchen. Liam suddenly stood up, his face expressionless, and walked toward the kitchen. The rest of us sat in the living room, looking at each other. During hot pot, I sat to Liam's left, and Chloe sat to his right. I accidentally picked up a piece of lamb, Chloe said, then dropped the lamb into Liam's bowl. In the past, they often did such boundary-pushing things. The difference now was that facing such actions, my emotions remained undisturbed. Mike's cooking wasn't bad. I just focused on eating until I was full. After dinner, Chloe suggested playing games. I thought about how I hadn't had time to study today and wanted to leave early. You guys play, I'm heading home. I stood up. I'll go with you. Liam also stood up. No need. You guys just play. I can call a ride myself. I genuinely meant it. But for some reason, it irritated Liam. His face darkened, and his voice was stiff. Let's go home. Right now. Then I'll go too. I'll hitch a ride with Liam, Chloe said. When we got in the car, I opened the back door and sat down. I pulled out my phone and started doing practice problems. Before the exam, I had planned to dedicate 2 hours every day to studying. Today, work had been so busy that I hadn't studied a single minute, so I had to make the most of my time. I figured I could review questions during this half-hour drive home, and then I'd only need another hour and a half of studying once I got there. I focused on a few practice problems, and then I realized the car was completely silent. Liam, earlier, when I was talking to you, Your attitude was so perfunctory. You just kept saying If you keep doing that, I'll be mad. After a moment of silence, Chloe spoke. Liam, you're tired today. Chloe, don't distract him while he's driving. HMH. Chloe said nothing more. When she got out of the car, she slammed the door, showing her dissatisfaction. After getting home, I went straight into my study. An hour and a half later, when I came out, Liam had already gone into the guest bedroom. I breathed a sigh of relief. Since our argument, we'd been sleeping separately. Liam was always so arrogant. If I didn't humble myself, he wouldn't make the first move. This was good. The next morning, I came out of my room to find Liam already awake. Go wash up. No rush, I'll wait for you to go to work. He sat on the sofa, looking at me. No need, I'm carpooling with a colleague. As I walked out the door, he followed me. Just take my car to work, it's not good to bother someone else. It's not a bother, I pay for gas. When Liam first bought his car, he used to pick me up and drop me off for a while. Then he found it inconvenient, our companies weren't on the same route, and he had to detour for a bit. He felt it was a waste of time. From now on, you take the subway. I want to sleep in a little more in the mornings. He threw that line at me and finally stopped driving me. As for not picking me up after work, there were countless excuses: overtime, colleague dinners, hanging out with friends. Basically, he couldn't pick me up on time. Later, a colleague asked in a group chat if anyone wanted to carpool, saying he could give rides but there was a fee. Coincidentally, we were on the same route. Every day, carpooling with him saved me time and was more convenient than taking the subway. And if I rode with him home in the afternoon, it would cost an extra $20 a month. I decided since afternoons weren't rushed, I'd take the subway to save a little money. Liam walked me to the complex gate and watched me get into my colleague's car. As soon as I arrived at the office, I got a text from him: "Are you the only one carpooling with that colleague?" I replied, "Yeah, it's just the two of us at the company who are on the same route. From now on, I'll drive you to work. It's not good for two young people to commute together every day. Other colleagues will gossip." No one gossips. Besides, didn't you want to sleep in more in the mornings? Starting tomorrow, I'll wake up at the same time as you. We'll start next month, I've already paid the other guy for this month. He didn't reply. I focused on my work. At lunchtime, Liam texted again. I opened it to see a picture of food from the cafeteria. Looks decent, huh? I didn't reply. He texted again, "What are you eating for lunch today?" I couldn't understand it. Was Liam actually sharing his daily life with me? This used to be my thing. I scrolled up through our chat history. Most messages were from me, unilaterally. Because I liked Liam, I wanted to share everything with him. Seeing a cute dog on the street, drinking a delicious beverage, being scolded or praised by my boss, tripping while walking, finding a celebrity's internet-famous spot, I loved sharing all the little things in my daily life with him. When we first started dating, we'd have back-and-forth conversations. But gradually, it turned into me sending a wall of text, and him only replying to the last message, often just 2 or 3 words. I knew much of what I enthusiastically shared, he probably didn't even bother to glance at. From initial disappointment, I grew accustomed to it. Who told me I liked him? Who told me I loved him so meekly? Finally, my enthusiasm for sharing slowly died out. I no longer wanted to text him. Looking back at my recent messages, I realized I hadn't proactively texted him for a whole week. Today was Friday, and a colleague suggested we all go out for dinner. In the past, I wouldn't have joined these gatherings. When I first started working, I sometimes went to happy hour with colleagues. Liam often went out to dinner with his college friends, only eating at home 2 or 3 times a week. Once, when I was out to dinner with colleagues, Liam happened to come home early. He called to ask where I was. I felt guilty, thinking he rarely ate at home and I'd missed a chance. Afterward, to avoid missing opportunities to eat with him, I stopped attending work dinners and gatherings. Every day after work, I'd go home early to cook, waiting for Liam. Occasionally, he'd show up. Because of this, even after working in the same office for years, My relationships with colleagues were pretty superficial, not close. I thought about it and told the colleague next to me, "Where are we eating tonight?" "I'm in too." My colleague exclaimed in surprise, "Oh wow, Mia's coming tonight." No one's allowed to bail, it's so hard to get everyone together. Near quitting time, Liam called. "MIA, I'll pick you up later. We can go grocery shopping, we haven't had dinner at home together in a long time." "No need, I have dinner with colleagues tonight." "You always refuse to come to any gatherings. I'm already hard to get along with, I can't turn this down." I cut him off before he could say more. Everyone in the department was there for this dinner, and everyone was having a good time. I even had a little wine. My tolerance is low, and one glass already made me dizzy. Mid-meal, Liam called again, asking what time it would end and that he'd pick me up. I said there was no need, I didn't know when it would finish, everyone was excited. "You just go to sleep first." "Where are you eating?" "I'll come there and wait outside for you. It's late, and it's not safe for a girl to go home alone." These were Liam's words. I almost couldn't believe it. He himself had once refused to pick me up from the airport late at night when I returned from a business trip. He'd said he had to wake up early for work the next day and couldn't stay up late. He'd also said the airport was crowded and I could easily get a ride at midnight, just to share my location and I wouldn't need to worry about danger. But now, it wasn't even 9 p.m., and he was worried about me going home alone late. Do men change that much? At 9:30 p.m., Liam texted that he was outside the restaurant. The dinner ended around 10 p.m. As I walked out, I saw him waiting. "Did you drink?" He came to support me. I'd had a little wine, but my tolerance was low, even one glass made me tipsy. Liam helped me into the passenger seat and buckled my seatbelt. He sat in the car, not starting it right away, but leaned over and hugged me. "So this is what it feels like to wait for someone. I'm sorry, Mie. I've made you wait so many times before. It won't happen again." I frowned and pushed him away. "Just drive fast, I need to go home and sleep." He chuckled softly, stroking my head. "With a tolerance like this, you still dare to drink? I'll have to keep a close eye on you from now on. Wouldn't want you to get into trouble." Liam was like a different person, as if someone had swapped his soul. Our relationship flipped. He became the clingy one. Every day, he'd pick me up from work on time, no longer meeting friends, insisting on having dinner at home with me. I told him I had to study for my exam and didn't have the time or energy to cook. He said he'd do it. And he really could. Every day, he'd come home, go to the supermarket to buy groceries, and then immediately head into the kitchen, bustling about. I thought Liam didn't know how to cook. After all, he'd never cooked a meal for me. To my surprise, his cooking skills weren't bad. It turned out he wasn't unable to cook, he just didn't want to do it for me. Chloe had once posted a picture of him cooking porridge on her Instagram. Now Liam was eager to show off all his cooking talents to me. His daily meals were never the same. After dinner, he wouldn't even let me wash the dishes, urging me to go study. Liam's thoughtful care now made me feel uneasy, like I was walking on eggshells. I didn't feel comfortable. I only felt double the pressure. When I was studying, he would frequently open my study door and ask if I wanted water or fruit. He was bothering me. I was very annoyed. So, I lied and told him I had to work overtime every day and wouldn't be home until 8 p.m. In reality, I stayed at the office to study after work. Without him bothering me, I could finally have some peace and quiet. Today, after work, I pulled out my study materials again. Half an hour later, the entire building lost power. I asked the security guard, who said he didn't know which power line had an issue and that they were sending someone to check. I packed up my materials and went to the coffee shop across the street from the building, ordered a coffee, and studied there for 2 hours. After finishing, I rushed back downstairs to the office building. I've been telling Liam I'm working late and he doesn't need to pick me up, I thought. But he still insisted on coming at 8 p.m. every day. When I got back to the building, his car door just opened. Lately, he talked a lot, always finding topics to chat with me about, asking how my work was, if my studies were going smoothly, how my relationship with colleagues was. Even if I just gave a few perfunctory replies, His enthusiasm didn't wane. But tonight, he didn't say a word the whole way home. It was a perfect chance for me to close my eyes and relax for a bit. Inside the apartment, I was changing my shoes when Liam finally broke the silence. "You haven't been working overtime these past few days, have you?" I froze, then honestly admitted, "That's right. Every day after work, I drive straight to your office and wait downstairs. When I arrive, it's usually around 6:30 p.m. I sit in the car for an hour and a half, waiting for you to come down. Same today. But when I arrived, the building lost power. I saw you walk out of the gate, but before I could call you, you crossed the street. I followed you and watched you study at the coffee shop until 8 p.m. Oh, you saw me? Why didn't you call me?" I felt a little embarrassed. "You haven't been working overtime these past few days. You've been staying at the office to study, right? Then why don't you come home to study, MIA? We're not even married yet, and you already hate coming home. You'd rather stay at the office than see me. If there's anything I'm not doing well, tell me, I can change." Since he'd brought it up, I pursed my lips. "Okay. I think we need to talk about our relationship. MIA, I just remembered I have to go on a business trip to the next city tomorrow." Liam suddenly cut me off. "I have to wake up early tomorrow, so let's get some rest early tonight. We can talk about it after I get back." I don't know if it was my imagination, but his eyes seemed to show fear. I sighed. "All right. Have you packed your bags yet?" "Not yet." "Then you should get your packing done. I'm going to shower first." In the past, whenever Liam went on business trips, I would pack for him. But now, I no longer had the patience for that. Early the next morning, seeing Liam leave with his suitcase, I felt a sense of relief. For the next few days, I wouldn't have to face him. I could enjoy my time alone. On the third day of Liam's business trip, I received a call from Chloe around noon. She said Liam had a bad cold and was on an 4-drip at Central Hospital. During my lunch break, I called a cab and went to the hospital. Liam's face was pale, leaning back in the chair with the 4, looking truly sick and weak. "Aren't you on a business trip?" I approached him. Liam opened his eyes, saw me, and his first reaction was joy, then guilt. "MIA, why are you here? Who told you?" "I told her," Chloe said, walking in with warm water. She looked at me, her words righteous. "What did you do to Liam? You made him afraid to come home. He's been staying at Mike's for days. How can someone be as domineering as you? You're truly too much." I looked at Liam. "You said you were on a business trip." Liam didn't dare to look me in the eye, his voice weak. "I'm sorry, Maya. I lied to you. I wasn't on a business trip." I understood he was avoiding me. He also realized there was a problem between us. Last time, when he exposed my lie about working overtime, I tried to take that opportunity to talk things out. But he used the excuse of a business trip to avoid it. He'd rather stay at a friend's house than face me or confront our issues. "Liam, avoidance isn't a solution. You know we need to talk." "Okay, can we wait until I'm better to talk about it?" His eyes were full of pleading. "Okay," I nodded. "Then you rest. I'm going to work." "May, you're not staying." He looked at me, very pathetic. "It's just a cold. You're an adult, you don't need to act like this, do you?" Hearing these words, Liam stiffened, looking up at me. From the hurt in his eyes, I could feel that he understood these were the exact words he had once said to me. "Last winter, I had a fever of 101.3 degrees Fahrenheit. That evening, I went to the hospital for an 4-drip. Looking around, everyone had someone with them. But I was alone. I called Liam, asking him to come to the hospital and stay with me. He coldly refused. "You're an adult, you don't need to act like this. It's just a fever. Can't you get in 4 without me?" Loud music blared from his end of the phone. Chloe yelled, "Liam, your queen is here." I was seriously sick, and he was singing karaoke with friends. In that moment, I felt a chill deep in my heart. I could only blame myself for being useless. After a few days of silent treatment, I'd be coaxed by him with a few sweet words. Liam must have remembered that incident too, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry, Maya. The words that came out of my own mouth were like daggers piercing someone's heart, but I never knew. Now the dagger has turned and pierced him, and he finally understands what it means for a cruel word to leave someone cold for 6 months. Chloe, standing beside him, couldn't hold back, looking at Liam with pity. You're sick, and she's your girlfriend, but she doesn't care. She's just going to leave you. Why are you still apologizing? I chuckled softly. See? You don't lack people who care about you. Of course, I'm not as cold and heartless as she is. I'll take good care of Liam, Chloe said loudly, chin high. I had nothing more to say. I turned and left. That evening, Liam didn't come home. He texted me, saying he would temporarily stay at Mike's place and would come home to talk seriously with me after he recovered. In truth, regarding our relationship, I had already made a decision: to break up. The words break up are easy to say, but making the actual decision is incredibly difficult. I had been with Liam for a very long time, starting in my junior year of college. We'd been together for 7 years, over 5 years since graduation. In the early years, we truly loved each other, and it was genuinely sweet. During our free time in college, our footprints covered every corner of this city. The city witnessed our beautiful past. In every scenic spot, we left our mark. During graduation season, we helped each other revise our resumes and went to large job fairs together. After securing job offers, we ran up a mountain, drank beer, sang loudly, rented an apartment together, and believed we had found true love. But now, after everything, I realized that love had disappeared a long time ago.